I made $1,050 from this $82 board before costs. So how much was profit? Let's walk through it together. The question I get so often is, can I make money with my CNC? The answer is obviously yes. But instead of just taking my word for it, let me briefly walk you through how I frequently take one board and turn it into a big profit in a way that I can only do with a CNC. So here's how it all comes together. I'm in federal law enforcement as part of my day job, and I've created what I consider a higher end retirement plaque for my law enforcement, government, and military friends and associates. Now, by higher end, I mean I use solid, high quality wood. I do not pre purchase plaques, then simply engrave them. I make them from scratch. So it starts with my favorite wood supplier, the Plywood Company of Fort Worth. I prefer to use mahogany. I make every effort to be able to make the plaques a final dimension of 13 inches by 15 inches long. So in this case, I was able to get these dimensions from one board, requiring no glue up. The board you see here is African mahogany. It actually measured 13 and 1/4 inches wide by 115 inches long, which is just over 9 feet, and was marked as 4/4, but actually measured 1 and 1/4 inches.
Now you know why I'm going to build a bigger shop.
As for the plaque, this is the plaque you've heard me mention before. I think it was in my Will a CNC Pay for Itself video. The plaque starts with a board sanded to 150 grit. I then 3D engrave a large wavy flag at the top of the plaque. I think this flag sets it apart from most other plaques you see. As stated earlier, I typically use mahogany. I think it mills well, it finishes well, it also laser engraves well. More on that in a minute. I've also used cherry and walnut with great success. So I am curious, let me know in the comments below, what wood would you choose to use for this type of product? Maybe there's something I could learn. Now, I often prepare the wood blanks, then engrave the flags one at a time. But the beauty of the CNC is the repeatability. You could easily do multiple plaques at once. And here's a quick shot of the tapered ball nose I've used for every flag on every plaque that I've created. I'll put the details on the screen. This is a great time for me to remind you to spend a considerable amount of time to ensure your file, your tool paths, your alignment, everything is all correct. Because one slip here, and it's going to cost me $150. Just ask me how I know.
Then you'll see a file loading.
Right there.
Is it? See a box telling you it's loading?
Boop, 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 boop.
I'm going to put dust boot on. Still loading?
Yep.
Now, once we start it, it's going to start running the machine, so we're going to walk away because it's going to be loud, okay?
Okay.
So it's loaded. Okay, I'm going to turn on the dust collector. Now, what usually means go? What color?
Green.
Okay, so we got it touched off. We got the dust collector on. We got the right file loaded. We zeroed everything off. We have the right bit in there. You see a green go button? Nope. On the left-hand side, above stop, what's that green box say?
Cycle starts.
Cycle start. That's it.
Okay, now.
Now we got to run.
Right, just to talk through my CNC process here a little bit. I'm doing one plaque at a time, as I mentioned earlier. I do zero everything at the center for these because you'll see in a minute I actually do the entire outside profile cutout as well, so everything's lined up and square. So I first use the tapered ball nose to carve out the flag. That's about a 2-hour carve, so I know we all have our own hourly rates, machine time rates. I'm not going to discuss that in this video. That's up to you how you do that. But it's about 2 hours for the flag carve. I can do other things while that's going on. I then switch to a spiral downcut bit, and I do an outside profile of the flag just to clean up any mill marks from the tapered ball nose. And then that same bit will also cut out the outside profile of the entire plaque. Again, final dimensions 13 inches wide, 15 inches long. Now for the engraved portion below the flag. You have a couple of options. I choose to laser engrave this portion of the plaque. However, you could certainly V-carve the text with a CNC and even color fill it for a very professional look. I use the laser as I have it set to engrave nice dark lettering. I also often engrave the agency seal and or agency badge onto the plaque. These often have a lot of detail, and it's a great use case for why a laser complements a CNC so well. Of course, these details are optional, but remember, I'm marketing this as a high-end plaque. Once the plaque has the flag carved out at the top, and the text has been laser engraved underneath it, all that is left is to final sand to 180 grit. Chamfer all the edges with a 45-degree chamfer bit, and prepare it for finish. The finish can be a finish of your choice. I usually use Osmo because I always have it on hand. It's easy to apply, and I really like the natural wood look and feel it leaves compared to something like a glossy spray-on lacquer. Now, I'm curious, which finish would you prefer? Please leave a comment below. Now, let's get down to the nitty-gritty and talk dollars and profit. I already told you, with tax, the board cost me just over $82. Here's the actual receipt for this board, just in case you don't believe me. I usually cut off 3 or 4 inches from each end of the board to make sure I remove any small cracks or checking. So as far as useful portions of the board, I was able to get 7 plaques out of this one board. Now I sell each plaque for $150. And of course, that is always a great debate. I'm so curious what you think of this price point, so please let me know in the comments below. 7 times $150 is $1,050. We'll subtract $82 that we spent on the board, and we're left with $968. Now, I know the discussion on product pricing is an entire video in itself, and to be honest, you may not like or agree with my approach. So let's just get this over with. Yes, there are consumables to account for, but how much do we really need to worry about it? In this case, focusing on just one $150 plaque, yes, I used saw blades, I used CNC bits, sanding pads, I used the finish to complete the plaque. Oh, my shop has air conditioning and heating, and yes, for those of you that live really deep in the weeds, all these tools and electrical items use electricity. I'll say up front, I don't worry about electricity costs. I work out of a home shop. I'm paying my electric bill regardless. My tools are not running 24/7. They're not even running 8 hours a day. Sure, my bill may be a few dollars higher because of my shop, but I'm just not concerned with it. On to bits and blades. Yes, they wear out, but I have made over 40 of these same plaques in the last 2 years, and I'm still using the original tapered ball nose bit that I used on the very first plaque. Granted, I think it needs to be replaced, but that's the wear and tear on that one CNC bit. So is it even worth the time to do the math on this? To me, no. For a project like this, it comes down to sanding pads and finish. I will add, or I guess it would actually be subtract, $5 per plaque for consumables. Now this is generous, so maybe it is slightly taking into account for some of the blade and machine wear, but enough about that. $5 per plaque consumables, that's generous. Final profit will be calculated at the end of the video. Okay, I'm just kidding. You do not have to wait any longer for profit. I had a total of $933. That was for all 7 plaques. That comes out to $133 per plaque. Now keep in mind, I've made over 40 of these in the last 2+ years. That comes out to $5,331. Now keep in mind, this is only one product. You offer several of these products, the money will add up. So that's going to wrap it up for this video. Really hope you got something out of this. If you did, please hit the like button. Would love for you to subscribe to Madison Creations, and I hope to see you all back soon.